Let me ask you something. If you live with type 2 diabetes, have you been warned to give up milk completely? Or, on the other hand, have you stumbled across videos promising that one magical milk can simply melt your diabetes away? Here's the truth that sits quietly in the middle, and almost nobody bothers to explain it clearly. The wrong milk really can send your blood sugar climbing, but the right milk, taken the right way, can actually help you keep it steadier through the day. No milk on this earth will reverse or cure type 2 diabetes. Anyone who promises you that is selling you something. But choosing wisely at the milk aisle is one of the simplest, cheapest, most doable changes you can make starting today. My name is Dr. Henry Morgan, and I'm part of a small team that does one thing well. We read the published research on nutrition and metabolic health, and we translate it into plain language for real people. No hype, no fairy tales, no false promises. And the science here genuinely surprised me when I first dug into it. Back in 2018, researchers at the University of Guelph and the University of Toronto, publishing in the Journal of Dairy Science, found that drinking milk with breakfast cereal lowered blood sugar after the meal compared to drinking plain water with the very same cereal. And a higher protein milk lowered it even more. A simple glass of milk, used smartly, behaving like a quiet little blood sugar buffer. Before we go any further, do me one small favor. Drop your age in the comments right now. I read them personally, and it helps me make videos that actually fit where you are in your life. Because what your body does with milk at 45 is simply not what it does at 70. Today I'll walk you through the 5 best milk choices for blood sugar, ranked from a solid, dependable starting point all the way up to the single most powerful approach the strongest clinical trials point toward. And that number 1, it isn't a brand, and it isn't anything exotic. It's a way of drinking milk that researchers have actually tested in people living with diabetes and prediabetes. And the results are the reason you'll want to stay right to the very end. Let's begin. Let's begin with number 5, lactose-free or ultra-filtered cow's milk. The dependable starting point if you don't want to give up the real thing just yet. Here's the mechanism in plain English. Regular cow's milk carries about 12 grams of natural sugar called lactose in every single cup. That lactose is a carbohydrate, and carbohydrates are precisely what move your blood sugar up and down. Ultra-filtered milks, the kind sold as high-protein, reduced-sugar cartons, physically filter out some of that lactose while concentrating the protein. So you get more of the protein that slows digestion and less of the sugar that raises glucose. Lactose-free milk works a little differently. The sugar is still in there, but an added enzyme pre-digests it, so it's gentler on your gut, which matters more as the digestive system grows fussier with age. The research backs the protein angle clearly. That 2018 Journal of Dairy Science work from Guelph and Toronto showed higher dairy protein milk blunted the post-meal glucose rise more than ordinary milk. And a 2019 study by Sartorius and colleagues in the journal Nutrients found that concentrated milk protein from whey actually lowered HbA1c, your 3-month average blood sugar, in people with prediabetes, a statistically meaningful drop. Protein is the hero of this story, and these milks are built around it. Let me give you an illustrative example, a composite, not a real patient, to show how this plays out. Picture someone like Margaret, 64, who loved her morning latte but watched her glucose meter climb every single time. She didn't quit dairy. She simply swapped her regular milk for an unsweetened, ultra-filtered version with double the protein and half the sugar. Same latte, same routine, a gentler curve on her meter. That's the kind of small, realistic win this option quietly offers. Age matters here. After about 60, 2 things tend to happen at once. Your muscles start to thin, doctors call it sarcopenia, and your body tends to handle carbohydrates a little less efficiently. A higher protein, lower sugar milk helps on both fronts, feeding your muscle while easing the sugar load. To start today at almost no cost, on your next shopping trip, pick up 1 carton of unsweetened, lactose-free, or high-protein ultra-filtered milk and read the label carefully. You want sugar low and protein high. Use it exactly where you already use milk. And here's a synergy tip. Pair this milk with the protein timing trick we'll reach at number 1, and you multiply the benefit. But before that, there's an option that does something milk alone simply can't. It brings your gut into the fight. That's number 4, and it's coming up next. Number 4 steps it up. Fermented dairy drinks. Plain kefir and unsweetened drinkable yogurt. The mechanism is fascinating and simple at the same time. Fermentation means live bacteria have already eaten through some of the milk sugar before it ever reaches you. And those same bacteria, your probiotics, settle into your gut and help shape how your body handles glucose and inflammation. So a fermented milk drink tends to land softer on your blood sugar than the same amount of plain milk, while doing extra work downstream in your digestive system. On the evidence, large observational studies have repeatedly linked regular yogurt eating to a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes, which is part of why the topic is taken so seriously by researchers. And a randomized controlled trial of probiotic-enriched fermented soy milk in people with type 2 diabetes, published in the Journal of Renal Nutrition, reported improvements in markers tied to blood sugar and inflammation over an 8-week period compared with the non-probiotic version. Live cultures, it turns out, really do earn their keep. Here's an illustrative example, again, a composite. Imagine someone like Robert, 69, whose mornings felt heavy and whose readings ran stubbornly high. He started having a small glass of plain, unsweetened kefir with breakfast instead of juice. Juice is fast sugar with nothing at all to slow it down. Kefir is protein, fat, and live cultures. The swap traded a spike for a buffer, and his digestion thanked him for it too. The age angle is real. The diversity of helpful bacteria in your gut tends to shrink after 65, and that shift is linked to worse blood sugar control and more inflammation. Fermented dairy is one of the easiest ways to feed those helpful microbes daily. Start today for almost nothing. Buy plain, unsweetened kefir or a natural drinkable yogurt. The ingredient list should be short with no added sugar, and have a small glass with a meal. The word to hunt for on the label is unsweetened, because flavored versions can hide more sugar than a can of soda. Synergy tip. Fermented dairy and the high-fiber pairing we'll talk about feed each other. Fiber is food for the very bacteria you're adding. But if dairy doesn't agree with you at all, the next option skips it completely while staying remarkably low in sugar. That's number 3. Number 3 is the lightest option on the entire list, and for some of you, it'll be the easiest win of all. Unsweetened almond milk. The mechanism is almost embarrassingly simple. Almond milk is mostly water with a little ground almond, so it carries barely any carbohydrate at all. And carbohydrate is what raises blood sugar. Unsweetened almond milk has less than 1 gram of carbohydrate per 100 milliliters, compared with roughly 5 grams in semi-skimmed cow's milk. Less sugar going in means less sugar to manage. The catch is hidden in that one word, unsweetened. Because sweetened and flavored almond milks can carry as much added sugar as a soft drink. On the research, nutritional analyses consistently rank unsweetened almond milk among the lowest carbohydrate milk choices available, which is exactly why diabetes dietitians so often reach for it first. A 2023 systematic review in the journal Nutrients, examining plant-based milk substitutes and blood sugar response, concluded that low-carbohydrate options like unsweetened almond milk have minimal impact on glucose. Useful, though the authors rightly note we still need more long-term human trials. Here's an illustrative composite example. Think of someone like Susan, 58, who drinks 3 coffees a day. With cow's milk, that's real sugar quietly adding up cup after cup. She switched to unsweetened almond milk in her coffee and kept absolutely everything else the same, and removed a quiet daily sugar load she hadn't even noticed she was carrying. One honest caveat tied to age. Almond milk is naturally very low in protein, and after 60, your protein needs actually go up to protect your muscle. So almond milk is a brilliant low-sugar mixer for coffee, tea, and cereal, but don't lean on it as your main protein source the way you might with cow's or soy milk. Start today. Replace the milk in your coffee, tea, or breakfast cereal with an unsweetened almond version. It's widely available and often costs about the same as dairy. Synergy tip. Use almond milk as your low-sugar base, but get your protein from the next option on the list. Because number 2 gives you that ultra-low sugar profile and a full dose of protein in the same glass. Let's talk about it. Number 2 is, for most people with type 2 diabetes, the best all-rounder in the entire milk aisle. Unsweetened soy milk. Here's why it earns its spot. Soy milk pulls off a rare double act. It's low in sugar with only about 2 to 3 grams of carbohydrate per 100 milliliters. And yet, it's one of the only plant milks that delivers a complete, high-quality protein, the kind usually found only in animal foods. That protein slows digestion and softens the rise in blood sugar, while the low carbohydrate count means there's little sugar to spike in the first place. Nutritionally, it's the plant milk that comes closest to replacing cow's milk. Now, let me be straight with you about the evidence because honesty is the whole point of this channel. A 2021 meta-analysis in Nutrients, pooling many randomized trials, found that soy did not produce a large, reliable drop in fasting glucose or HbA1c on its own. So soy milk is not a magic blood sugar cure. But that same body of research found something else clearly valuable. Soy significantly lowered total cholesterol and LDL, the harmful cholesterol. And a separate 8-week randomized controlled trial found soy protein improved HbA1c compared with dairy-based casein protein. That matters enormously because heart disease is the #1 threat to people living with diabetes. Soy milk protects the organ diabetes endangers most. An illustrative composite example. Picture someone like David, 66, with type 2 diabetes and creeping cholesterol, who wanted to cut back on dairy. He moved to unsweetened soy milk across the board: coffee, cereal, cooking. His blood sugar stayed steady, and over the following months his cholesterol numbers became a brighter spot on his lab report. Same glass, two jobs. The age point. After 60, both rising cholesterol and shrinking muscle become bigger concerns. And soy's mix of complete protein and cholesterol-lowering effect speaks to both at once. Start today. Choose an unsweetened fortified soy milk. Fortified means calcium and vitamin B12 added back, which matters if you're using it to replace dairy. Use it anywhere you'd use cow's milk. Synergy tip. Soy milk is the perfect partner for #1, because #1 isn't really about which carton you buy, it's about how and when you drink it, and it's the single most powerful thing in this entire video. Stay with me. And here it is. #1. Not a brand, not a secret ingredient. The most powerful approach in the research is this. Drink a glass of unsweetened, high-protein milk, dairy or soy, just before or alongside the carbohydrate part of your meal. Researchers call it a protein preload, and it's the closest thing to a free lever you have over your own blood sugar. The mechanism is beautiful once you actually see it. When protein hits your gut a little ahead of your carbohydrates, it triggers gut hormones that tell your stomach to empty more slowly and prompt your body to release insulin sooner and more efficiently. The result? The sugar from your meal trickles into your blood instead of flooding in. You haven't removed the carbs, you've simply changed the timing of how your body meets them. Milk, rich in whey protein, is one of the best natural triggers for this effect. And the research here is the strongest on the whole list. A 2014 randomized controlled trial published in Nutrition Journal gave people a small whey protein drink before a high-carbohydrate breakfast, and their peak blood sugar dropped by about 2.1 millimoles per liter, with average glucose over the next 3 hours meaningfully lower too, all from one modest 80-calorie preload. The 2018 Guelph and Toronto study found the same pattern with milk at breakfast. Higher protein, lower post-meal glucose, and steadier blood sugar even after the next meal hours later. One smart glass working long after you'd finished it. Here's an illustrative composite to bring it all home. Imagine someone like Eleanor, 72, whose breakfast sent her blood sugar soaring every single morning. She changed nothing about her toast or her oatmeal. She simply drank a small glass of unsweetened high-protein milk first, 10 minutes before she ate. Same food, same kitchen. A flatter, calmer morning curve. The food didn't change, the order did. This matters most with age. After 65, that early, efficient insulin response naturally weakens. So anything that nudges your body to release insulin on time becomes more valuable. And a protein preload does exactly that, gently and for free. Start today at zero cost. Tomorrow morning, before your highest carb meal, drink a small glass, about 150 to 200 milliliters, of unsweetened high-protein milk. Ideally, the soy or ultra-filtered dairy from earlier in this list. 10 minutes ahead is ideal. Alongside the meal still helps. And this is where the whole video clicks together. The best milk from numbers 2 and 5, the gut support from number 4, the low sugar base from number 3, all of it pays off most when you use it as a preload. That's the synergy. That's the secret hiding in plain sight. So let's bring it all home. Number 5, lactose-free and ultra-filtered cow's milk. More protein, less sugar, a dependable place to start. Number 4, fermented kefir and plain yogurt. Lower sugar plus living cultures that bring your gut into the fight. Number 3, unsweetened almond milk, the ultra-low sugar choice for your coffee and cereal. Number 2, unsweetened soy milk, the best all-rounder, guarding your heart while it steadies your sugar. And number 1, the real game changer, using a small glass of unsweetened high-protein milk as a preload before your carbs, the trick with the strongest science behind it. Here's what I most want you to carry with you. No milk reverses diabetes, but the choices you make at the milk aisle genuinely move the needle, and it is never too late to start. Whether you're 50 or 85, your body still responds to better choices. Every steady morning counts. So tell me in the comments, which one are you starting first? And what's your single biggest challenge in keeping your blood sugar steady? I read every reply, and your honesty helps the next person watching. If this helped clear away the hype and gave you something real to use, please like this video, subscribe so the research keeps finding you, and share it with someone you love who's managing diabetes too. Because managing your health isn't about one miracle. It's about one honest, doable choice repeated. And you just learned 5 of them.